This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
A mask mandate goes into effect in just hours. Marion County is joining communities across the country that are requiring people to wear face masks in public to help stop the spread of COVID-19. Good evening to you at 11 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. Many of you already have questions about exactly where you will be required to wear a mask and how it will be enforced.
Working for you, RTV6's Cornelius Hawker is getting answers.
Starting Thursday, almost everyone who goes out in Marion County will be expected to wear a mask.
Marion County is masking up. This public health order instructs all businesses and public accommodations to ensure their customers and visitors are wearing a mask that covers their mouth and nose. This includes bars and restaurants, which are already operating at reduced capacity, many with outside seating to help people social distance. Libraries in Marion County will be allowed to open to everyone. Masks will be required to enter. Same thing goes for grocery stores. For the most part, many of these places already had mask policies in place. The public health order ensures everyone is doing their part to stop the spread of COVID-19.
We want, obviously, for the most protection for all of our humans as well as all of our guests that come in.
When Brewdog Indianapolis's head chef Bridget Horan learned about the mask mandate, it reaffirmed the policy they already had in place.
We wanted to get ahead of it before the official statement on the 9th that everyone has to.
Masks are required for all customers who come in the restaurant. They can take them off when they're at one of the tables that the staff cleans before and after each use.
People have been very receptive to it. You get the occasional people who don't have a mask on them, but I think the fact that everyone in this area is kind of implementing those same things definitely makes a difference.
With the well-being of everyone in mind, Bridget knows this is going to be the new normal for quite some time.
We got our dividers in between the tables. We've got the markings on the floor, our one indoor, one outdoor. So this is just another step to make sure that everyone's being as safe as possible.
There are some notable exceptions to this mask mandate. If you've got kids and they're 2 years or younger, they won't be expected to wear a mask. And if you have some sort of physical limitation that prevents you from wearing a mask, you won't be expected to either. Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
And another exception to the mask order applies to people experiencing homelessness and those who are hearing or speaking impaired. The order will be enforced by health inspectors who can give out citations if a business or person are not complying. For more details, go to theindychannel.com. And if you need help getting a mask, they are available for free to Marion County residents. You can pick up one at the Julia M. Carson Transit Center in downtown Indianapolis while supplies last. You can also sign up for free face coverings at indy.gov/masks.
A Kokomo man who survived COVID-19 is making a personal plea, asking you to wear a mask.
Please wear masks. I mean, that's just a simple thing. If it's uncomfortable, deal with it.
James Kemp is still suffering the effects of the virus. Doctors diagnosed him in April. He spent a lot of time on a ventilator in the intensive care unit. He now relies on a walker. Kemp says just because you recover from COVID-19 does not mean your health will be the same.
I'm very unsteady on my feet. I'm on oxygen still, which will take several months to get me weaned off because my lungs have been diminished. It can hit anybody. And if they're not wearing a mask, they're putting themselves and other people at risk.
Even though Kemp is back home now, he is not able to work.
Now to the latest on the pandemic from the State Health Department. 2,539 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19. More than 535,000 have been tested for the virus and 9.2% have tested positive. And at today's weekly briefing, the state health commissioner said the percentage of positive cases in Indiana is steadily increasing. This graphic shows an average 5.9 positivity rate over 7 days. As of July 4th, the commissioner says the lowest 7-day average rate was 4.1% as of June 18th.
Now to the economic toll the pandemic is taking on Hoosiers and how you can get help. The Rebound Indiana is sharing resources to help you make ends meet. This morning, Indianapolis leaders announced details on a rental assistance program available to people in Marion County. Eligible residents can get up to 3 months of assistance, including payments dating back to April 1st. Renters will need to provide income information from February and income or unemployment information since March 1st. Landlords must agree to participate.
Now, this effort alone will not solve the financial hardships brought about by COVID-19. And we still encourage the safe patronage of Marion County shops, restaurants, and other businesses who employ our neighbors. But make no mistake, this is not the end of our relief efforts as a city.
Starting Monday, you can apply for assistance at indyrent.org. Again, that's indyrent.org. If you have trouble navigating that website, call the Mayor's Action Center at 317-327-4622. Also, starting Monday, residents who live outside of Marion County can apply for a statewide rental assistance program. It will provide up to $500 in assistance for 4 months. There are several eligibility requirements. For more information on that, you can go to indianahousingnow.org. There's free money up for grabs to help businesses in Marion County reopen under new COVID-19 safety guidelines. The city of Indianapolis has teamed up with the Indy Chamber, launching the Ready to Restart program. Small business owners can get reimbursement checks of up to $5,000 for costs related to PPE, sanitizing supplies, social distancing signs, and any costs related to coronavirus precautions. Suzette Sweat runs a gym and training facility on the city's east side and looked into the program. She's now being reimbursed for installing an air purifying and circulation system.
It is so worth it. So like they can get their masks, their hand sanitizers. If they're restaurants, they can get laminated menus. You can get, we have some social distancing signs that put on the floor. You can have all that. I mean, that's all covered. The thermometers, you know, for the temperatures, all that's covered under that $5,000. So very, very simplified process.
Business owners have until July 31st to apply for the Ready to Restart grants. It takes about 2 weeks to process and receive your reimbursement check. We've included a link to the Indy Chamber's Ready to Restart program in this story at our website, theindychannel.com/rebound.
Now to the forecast. Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins us now, tracking more of the same thing we've been seeing all week, Kevin.
I think as soon as I hit some of the highlights here, you'll hear a lot of familiar things. We're drying out overnight from our thunderstorms that developed in the afternoon. One more day, we're back in the 90s tomorrow. We hit 94 today. I'm sure you could feel that. That humidity was incredible. Scattered thunderstorms tomorrow and on Friday. We're currently at 76. The wind is light. We have more clouds around tonight, so I don't think fog will be much of an issue in the morning. Going, almost gone. That was a large area of rain in the western portion of the state from Rockville on up toward Covington and Veedersburg. That fades away. Tomorrow, thunderstorms ignite again in the early afternoon hours. Scattered thunderstorms with some heavy rain. We hit 90 degrees. Changes arrive Friday. Once things change, what's the new norm and how long will that last? We got the answers coming up.
New at 11, a Central Indiana pastor is being asked to step aside from public ministry after posting a derogatory message on his church's website. Father Theodore Rothrock referred to Black Lives Matter demonstrations as maggots and parasites in an online article for St. Elizabeth Seton Catholic Church in Carmel. Last week, the Lafayette, Indiana bishop announced Rothrock's suspension from public ministry. And tonight, the bishop says he has asked Rothrock to step aside because of the division and damage caused by the message.
Also new tonight, attorneys for the family of an Indianapolis man who was killed by an IMPD officer are weighing in on a decision made by the special prosecutor in the case. The autopsy report for Drejon Reed was completed weeks ago, but the special prosecutor has asked that it not be released to family. She says it might impede the ongoing criminal investigation. The law firm of Fatima Johnson released a statement saying, in part, quote, "At every turn during this transparent investigation, we have had to fight for even the most basic information. Irrespective of any requests the coroner's office may have received to do otherwise, they have not been absolved of their obligation to comply with Indiana law and release the autopsy report to Drejon's mother," end quote. You can read the full statement and the latest on the case by going to our website, theindychannel.com.
Also new at 11, IMPD is asking for help after a shooting on the canal left a 24-year-old woman dead. Police released this surveillance video about an hour ago. They say it shows several people in the area when the shooting happened around 3:30 early Sunday morning. Detectives would like to speak to anyone who was on the canal during that time. Jessica Doty Whitaker died at the hospital hours after she was shot. Call 317-327-3475 to speak to investigators. Staying safe and staying positive. Indy teenagers are getting support from positive role models who are teaching them life lessons during a turbulent time. RTV6's Cameron Riddle spent the evening with the group tonight in Lawrence Park.
In the middle of an unprecedented year, communities are not slowing down their search for solutions to an ongoing issue, keeping young men on the right track and out of harm's way.
A lot of the young men we work with are in the system, or they work with us from a prevention standpoint. They're not in the system yet, and we want to promote constructive fellowship.
Kareem Hines has been leading the mentorship program called New Boy, which stands for New Breed of Youth. On some days, these young men sit and just talk about what's happening in the world and how they fit into it. And on a night like tonight, they are releasing energy and emotion through boxing.
We named it Guns Down, Gloves Up. So it gives us another avenue to talk to the young men about the gun violence and the danger of guns. Because back in the days when we were coming up, we used these. You really didn't hear about, a friend dying from gun violence. And again, not promoting violence, but I can almost guarantee if these young men have a dispute with somebody and they fight it out, they'll both wake up tomorrow morning. And more often than not, they might even become friends.
Tyler Alexander has been a mentor in the program for years. He's a positive role model who has earned the nickname Big Brother TA. He knows that spending time here is often the safest option for these younger guys.
A lot of kids that I talk to say that they're bored is the reason why they're making the decision that they make and getting themselves into the system. So this program is to get the kids to come out, burn off their energy, so by the time they get home, we feed them, and then once they're done, they're really not even trying to do nothing but go to sleep.
If there's proof that mentorship works, you'll find it in 16-year-old Davion Shaw, who joined the program when he was just 9 and did not like being around people. Now, he's a social guy who wants to become a mentor and help younger kids who are just like him.
It changed most of my life as how I look at myself. It changed the person who I am. And it changed me to be more social.
In Lawrence, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Ultimately, it's not a matter of if schools should reopen. It's simply a matter of how.
Next, as federal officials continue their push to reopen schools in the fall, Indiana leaders announced an initiative to help protect students and staff from the spread of COVID-19. And a little later,
what's the risk of attending a wedding reception with about 50 people?
Our partners at Newsy take that question to experts. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
President Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, and the Secretary of Education are making it clear they want students in classrooms in the fall. ABC's Inez de la Catera reports there are concerns that there is no plan to do that safely.
The White House ramping up the pressure for in-school learning to resume in the fall.
Ultimately, it's not a matter of if schools should reopen. It's simply a matter of how. They must fully open, and they must be fully operational.
The number of COVID-19 cases in the U.S. now topping 3 million, and cases rising in at least 36 states. But President Trump threatening to withhold federal funding from public schools that do not reopen.
It's absolutely essential that we get our kids back into classroom for in-person learning. We can't let our kids fall behind academically.
Trump also blasting his own CDC's guidelines to reopen schools, calling them tough, and now directing the CDC to prepare new guidelines.
The president said today we just don't want the guidance to be too tough. And that's the reason why next week CDC is going to be issuing a new set of tools.
But health experts say that's not the right approach.
We need to close bars. We need to close indoor large gatherings. We need to have everybody wearing masks. If we start all that now, I think there's a pretty good shot we can open schools and keep them open all fall.
The president has also repeatedly not followed the guidelines from his own top medical experts, publicly breaking with Dr. Anthony Fauci, who earlier this week sounded the alarm.
The current state is really not good.
But Trump insisting in an interview on great television.
Well, I think we are in a good place. I disagree with him. You know, Dr. Fauci said don't wear masks, so now he says wear them.
And Vice President Pence now saying as the White House works with Congress on the next round of financial support for states, they will be looking for incentives to get kids back in school. Inez de la Catera, ABC News, Washington.
Indiana leaders discussed the upcoming school year at today's news conference on the pandemic. The state health commissioner and Governor Eric Holcomb said the goal is to have students in classrooms, and they say there are no specific metrics when considering whether districts should make changes.
I wish I could say if you get about this percentage of students that are homesick with these symptoms, we're going to have to call school. We're going to do what we can to try to support schools so that they can stay open. We think that's important not only for the educational experience of our students, but for their mental and their physical health also.
And for the parents who want to get back to work as well, that maybe can't right now. But I mean, Dr. Box just brings up a very important point, and that is, we're going to be at this for a while. This is not, one day's numbers or one report. This is going to be over the course of the rest of the year and beyond, potentially.
Today, state leaders announced new resources to make personal protective equipment more accessible to businesses or organizations around the state, including schools. The state says PPE supplies will be provided to participating K-12 public, charter, and private schools for free. That includes reusable face masks, small bottles of hand sanitizer, and large jugs of hand sanitizer. The state says supplies will be shipped beginning next week. They will be sent in order of district start dates.
A prominent downtown Indianapolis hotel opens tomorrow for the first time in more than 3 months. We toured the JW Marriott as it prepares to welcome guests again. The hotel is taking extra steps to keep guests safe. Remotes and other high-touch items are covered in plastic that will be replaced after each guest. Staff will use advanced cleaning and disinfecting procedures in rooms and common areas. Downtown hotels rely heavily on things like conventions and sporting events. And while those may not return for a while, the general manager of the JW says it's a great time to simply explore the city.
It's very safe. There's a lot of beautiful attractions to come down. If you have not been down to Indianapolis in a while, please come down, walk the canal, go to the museums, come take advantage of the city. There's still a lot of great things to do and see, and do it so safely.
The Indianapolis Marriott and the Conrad are set to reopen on Friday. The city recently announced a $1 million marketing campaign aimed at bringing people back downtown. People who stay at hotels in the area can get rates up to 50% off.
Now let's take a live look at Victory Field. There will be baseball at the beloved stadium this summer. After all, the Indian season is canceled due to the pandemic, but today the team announced a partnership with the College Summer League at Grand Park in Hamilton County to play 3 games at Victory Field. They are scheduled for July 16th, 23rd, and 30th. College Summer Leagues feature college players who are between years in school. For ticket info, go to theindychannel.com and click on this story. Kevin, I think it sounds good to have some baseball in summer.
The crack of the bat, yeah, and Victory Field's always in a state of perfection. That's one of the neat things about going there, is just look how beautiful the field is. It will get some use. If you've been counting, and if you haven't, no problem, I have. 6 straight days we've had temperatures of 90 or above. Tomorrow we'll make our 7th straight day, and then we'll break the string. Southern Marion County, just outside 465 along 37, over 2 inches of rain in isolated spots. Now we'll go out to Fountain County, northern portions of Park. This thunderstorm complex parked itself here with tons of lightning and heavy rainfall earlier this evening, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches or a little more. Also east of Crawfordsville, 1.5 inches between Crawfordsville and Lebanon. We'll do this again tomorrow. I don't think it'll be widespread rain, just like the last few days. They bubble up shortly after noon. Once temperatures in the upper 80s, we build those cumulus clouds that turn into the towering thunderstorms. Friday, a little better chance for more widespread rain, and I would say that starts overnight Thursday into Friday ahead of a cold front, which will knock our temperatures back a little bit. It's not going to have a dramatic impact. We'll still see above average temperatures, but it will knock us into the 80s, and the humidity will come down a bit. As I mentioned, one more day, 93 tomorrow, temperature on Friday. Due to the cloud cover and the periods of thunderstorms, should fall short of 90. We'll predict 85 for the high. Tomorrow, 87 already by noon. The pattern has been and will continue to be tomorrow. Lots of sunshine in the morning, clouds turn into thunderstorms in the afternoon hours. Temperatures in the low 90s. An isolated strong storm with wind being the main threat, as well as localized flooding from downpours that once again develop. I'm jumping to tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. To the west, there'll be a line of some thunderstorms, whereas the last few nights, our chances for rain overnight are diminishing or not there. We think tomorrow night into Friday morning, we may have some overnight thunderstorms. Then they redevelop during the day on Friday ahead of that cold front. Temperatures during the day Friday stay in the mid-80s, as I mentioned, for the high temperature. Actually, a little below average. From north to south, temperatures noticeably cooler. Humidity is still high Friday. I think the greater humidity difference will come as we step into the weekend. 88 Saturday, 86 on Sunday. Nothing lasts forever. Look what comes back. After a couple days in the 80s, we're back to 93 Tuesday. Temperature as we get to Wednesday at 95 degrees. That is a hot and dry start to early next week. So our daily chance for thunderstorms will be coming to an end. We'll get temperatures back well into the 90s, it looks like, by the middle of next week. 11:24. We'll be back with more of the news at 11 right after this.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Just over 1 week after being announced, a carnival event at the State Fairgrounds is canceled, and today the company behind Fairgrounds Fun Park announced it will not happen. It was scheduled to start on July 31st and go through September. Organizers say they made the decision out of an abundance of caution. Based on the increase of COVID-19 cases in Indiana and guidance from the state health leaders, officials announced the cancellation of the state fair back in June.
Many weddings are back on after stay-at-home restrictions prohibited large gatherings. If you're concerned about attending a ceremony or reception with a large group of guests, here's what our partners at Newsy learned.
When it comes to getting sick with COVID-19, you might be thinking about this, and we have too. Anne asked,
what's the risk of attending a wedding reception with about 50 people?
We asked the experts. Their take, the risk of contracting COVID-19 from going to a wedding reception is medium.
It really depends on what phase your state is in. So if you're on the upswing of the number of cases of the pandemic, probably not a great time to go to a wedding reception. Around the peak, probably not as well. I probably want to make sure that we're past that peak and we're clearly on the way down.
It's still very important to know that if you're going to the reception, that you still want to minimize the number of people at that, minimize your contact with individuals. I know that's pretty hard at a wedding. Make sure that it's not a buffet wedding, all right? Individual plates so that you don't have people all showing up at the same spot, working with the same food. That's probably a good thing. Outdoor venues, always a big fan of outdoor venues right now, especially during the warm months.
It would definitely be more risky inside. Outside, you have fresh air. And then whatever requirements that you have in the city or state where you are, if it's even allowed. But within that, as long as, again, you are maintaining social distancing, wearing a mask to protect yourself.
If you have a question about your risk, email us a video question to what'stherisk@newsy.com.
No windshield wipers needed in the morning. Driving around, you'll need the air conditioning already. 80 degrees by 9 a.m. Afternoon temperatures again hit 90. The only thing that cuts off afternoon heating will be showers and some thunderstorms. We've missed the mark on Friday. We won't hit 90. Is that disappointing, Amanda?
That sounds good to me. Thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. Good Morning Indiana starts at 4:30. Good night.